Then we'll take questions for Coach and for the student athletes. Coach?
Good morning. First, I'd like to thank the Sun Belt Conference, Commissioner Gill and his staff for putting on such a great media day for our student athletes and our conference. Everything has been first class and a great city. I was able to take our students out last night and have a great dinner at Superior Restaurant. Also, in that dinner, learned that Cameran is allergic to shellfish, so he didn't get to indulge in the great food of New Orleans. And Jabriel, being a native of Philadelphia, he's a cheesesteak guy, so he got a chance to try some char-grilled oysters for the first time. So I do think that experience also exemplifies and magnifies this event. Also like to thank the media for everything that you all do, exposing our student athletes, allowing our coaches and players across all athletics to share their stories and create an experience that they can keep with them for their entire life. I'm also very honored to be here for my third year and want to pay respect to our president, Dr. Brian Blake, and our athletic director, Charlie Cobb, for their leadership and unwavering support of the football program. This offseason, with only one transfer portal, we were able to retain 51 of our players. We brought in 29 portal acquisitions, along with 7 junior college players. We signed 15 high school guys, and 7 of those were mid-year signees that were able to indulge in entire offseason. We also had coaching additions to our defensive side of the football. Cam Clark and John Hayline are our co-DCs. We added Troy Douglas as our corners coach, Chad Scales as our defensive back coach, and we also added Coach Cam Spence as our D-line coach. And they were able to add to that acquisition this offseason, and we definitely had to make a change on that side of the ball. I'm very confident of their ability, their structure, their passion that they have brought to that side of the football where we were very porous in the previous year. And it's just a very, very welcoming addition to our staff. Not only this offseason did our players indulge in over 200 hours of community service, we also attained the highest GPA in our football history of a 3.12, with 70 our football players having a 3.0 GPA or better. 6 of those had all A's or principals list, and that was an outstanding feat. We also provided a lot of internships over the summer with Delta, Grady Hospital, and our student athletes were able to see all layers of those businesses, and I think that is the reason we're in this game, is to magnify and promote our student athletes beyond football, because football is going to have a retirement date for everyone. I brought with me today Cam Brown, who's our senior quarterback. He hails from Warner Robins, Georgia. Great young man. He exemplifies all the DNA traits that our team is required to do. Also, Jabriel Nelson, who hails from Philadelphia. Also an outstanding student athlete on and off the football field, and with their experience and understanding the foundation of our DNA traits of connection, competitiveness, composure, and commitment, they were able to connect with our entire roster, which, having only one transfer portal window, really helped with the continuity of building this team. And I definitely think the NCAA got it right, and we're continuing to make strides in that regard. And I think the 5-for-5 ruling is also a pleasant addition to create some continuity and a little bit of ease with coaches' roster management as the future progresses in that milieu. With that being said, I will open up for questions.
We'll open the floor for questions for Coach McGee. If you do have a question, please raise your hand and give us your name and affiliation, and we will get a microphone to you. And for those of you joining us on Zoom, please type your questions into the chat. We'll read them here in the room. If there's nobody in the room right now, we do have someone.
Coach, Pappas with Sunbelt Conference. You talked about the importance of being able to retain so much of your roster, but obviously, like you said, 36 newcomers as well. Talk about beyond just the obvious and recruiting talent. What are some of the goals that you and your staff set out with being able to really replenish and add depth to this roster?
Yeah, it all started with the people. How are the kids wired? Of course, when you're acquiring guys out of the portal, is very similar to what we call speed dating. Unless you had a prior relationship with a student athlete from the recruiting basis, or you were recruiting a kid prior. But we look for character first and foremost, getting a degree of the utmost importance. And we wanted guys that were hungry, guys that were very grateful to be at Georgia State, that wanted to be there and show their value and their worth on the football field and off the football field. And I think with our returning players, they were able to reestablish our culture and implement everything that we want to embody on and off the football field.
Got a Zoom question. This is for our two student athletes. Last year was a long season. What's the steps that you have to make in order to turn things around?
I think the steps that we have to make is honestly just refigure out like who we are as a team, go back to our DNA traits, like he mentioned before. Also, I feel like the success of a team is being more connected, just knowing the people that you're playing for. If you know their why, know why they're ticking, know why they wake up in the morning, and go through these hard workouts and understand like what they are playing for. I feel like that's what's going to make a good team. That's what we're going to do moving forward. And also, like with being a long season last year, we're not trying to dwell on that. I feel like this is a new team, a new season. We have new coaches. This is a new year. So regarding the last year, we're going to leave that in the past, but also learn from our mistakes that we had in the past, and we're just going to keep moving forward.
I think we put our heads down and just work. You don't win championships when the season comes. We put our head down. We got finished on the back of all our T-shirts from the winter to the spring, going into summer workouts. I think this is a well-connected group. I think we kind of skipped that awkward stage with all the guys coming in from the transfer portal. It's a real scrappy bunch. Coaches really don't got a heart on 11 guys to the football. I think everybody want to get to the football. It's a race to the football from the D-line to the backers, the whole front seven. I think we just wanted more.
And there you go, the Georgia State Panthers at the podium. And if you
personally, what I've done to get better, just be more involved. I feel like last year I wasn't as good as a leader. I can look myself in the mirror and tell me that I feel like I need to be more vocal and push the guys more. Also, like, just encourage the team more. I feel like last year, like, they heard me in certain situations when kind of things went bad. So as a leader, I think they need just to hear me more vocal, as in if just giving good compliments to the team, good catch, a good block, or it's okay. And as just working on my just whole physical being and my mental being, watching film more, pushing myself in the weight room, just doing extra reps, getting work. I just got into running. So, like, now I got my mile down to like a 6-minute mile. So, like, I feel like I'm really good peak condition to be able to push myself this season. Also recovery too. That's one thing that I really lacked in. I felt like I wasn't as good in the recovery room. Like, I would just show up when it hurts, but also if you're more preventative, then that won't happen. And I was as well as last year of how I'm building. I just learned from my mistakes from last year. Understanding defense is better. There's not a moment where I'm not seeking more knowledge, seeking more experience. There's everything that I can learn. So I'm not going to come in next season like, oh, I had a good, successful few games, or, hey, I'm ranked whatever. At this point, that doesn't matter because that's last year. And also at the same time, this is preseason. You can be ranked number one preseason, you get in the season, and you don't perform. So I'm not trying to be that person. So there's always somewhere where I can learn or somewhere that I can get better. I'm never satisfied of being where I'm at.
Got another Zoom question from Lucas Hill of the Southeastern Channel, and this is for Mr. Rhodes-Nelson. You had a strong end of the season last year, and with the addition of Coach Cam Spence, how has he helped elevate your game on the defensive front?
I credit my success towards the end of the season to building it. I got that confidence, and Coach Spence came in and he helped me fine-tune the little details and talk to me about little things that I need to work on in my game. He helped me with my pad level a lot, and just knowing situational football, he helped me with that.
One more quick Zoom questions also. How did you like the Oysters, and how can we expect the defense to be better this fall?
Now, the Oysters was good, though. Thanks to Coach McGee, he definitely made me try those, because on any other day, I would have never tried those.
Tyler Kennett from the Herald Dispatch. And a question for Coach and for Cam, just having a quarterback to be a part of that continuity for you, how important is that for establishing things, and then for you, like, remaining in the same spot, how much does that help with your progression and development as a player?
Yeah, I think I will start. Bringing Cam back, like I say, he's a leader. He understands where we came from, but we also understand that the last 2 seasons don't define who we are as people. And he's really done a tremendous job of putting his head down, working, putting his teammates first, trying to involve and lead those guys, not only on the field, but in the weight room and conditioning in the classroom. So you can see a difference in how he's maneuvering. And I would also add that Aiden Pereira, the quarterback that we brought in from Merrimack, he's also added to competition in that room, and he's also improved. He's kind of caught up to Cam from a knowledge standpoint, and you can see his comfortability in the offense. And what I like most about the quarterback room is with this year that all the quarterbacks have a similar skill set, where we don't have a guy that's just a runner in a pocket guy, so to speak. All 4 of the guys that we have at quarterback have mobility. They can extend plays. We can use them in the run game to create running opportunities for them. So it's a definite different competition, and it's going to be easier for Coach Jackson to dial in on an offense because all 4 guys have a similar skill set.
Two defensive coordinators gone, and what sort of changes can we expect to show up on the field? And also, what do you like about the trajectory that Jabriel has been made last year and continues to make?
Going to the defensive coordinators, they both have a wealth of knowledge. Both John Hayline and Cam Clark and Troy Douglas, they all have worked together. So the staff being on the same page, being aligned, demanding accountability, effort, strain, finishing 2 yards past the line are things that our defense will stand by. Of course, you got to have toughness and play with physicality, and we don't want to be out-hit by any opponent that we play against, and those things are stressed on a daily basis. We still have a long way to go, but I like the progress that we've made through the course of spring ball, and our entire staff gets back into the office on July the 20th, and we'll start to dive deeper into how we want to install and what situations we want to bring up in camp. And then Jabriel, your second question, he's really flourished from a leadership standpoint. You can see the maturity, the comfortability, and his voice is now being heard. As the prior year, he was kind of laid back and kind of took second fiddle to that leadership role. Now he's embracing it in every single way possible.
One more simple question, Coach. Coach, this year you brought in quite a number of players from the smaller schools, Division II, Division III. Do you think this is going to be more of a path for those student athletes going forward throughout college?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really good football players that have the traits that we're looking for on that level. I mean, just thinking about Ted Hurst, he came from about Austin State, a Division II school, and now he was the 3rd round pick in the NFL draft, and he's going to represent the Sun Belt Conference in a great way in the NFL. So it's all about finding the right pieces, but more importantly, just finding those traits that we want to embody, what we want to represent our program. And I think character and being at Georgia State, wanting to be in the city of Atlanta, wanting to get an education, and wanting to be a servant leader, giving your time to the community and reading the elementary kids and feeding the homeless are all things that are important to us, and we see that being a benefit to our student athletes in their future.
I got a question for
10-8, going into the draft. What was it like to be around a guy like that? And, how do you kind of take what he modeled on the field and kind of use that in your leadership this year?
Yeah, to answer your question, being around Ted was a good joy. I'll say this, like everybody talks about like how he is like on the field, like yeah, he was a dominant receiver. A lot of fade balls that I knew that I threw, if I put it in the right spot, I know that he's coming down for it, and it's not even a hesitation. But one thing I kind of want to focus on is just like the character off the field. He's a great guy, never was on the list, never was late, never had to worry about is he's going to give his effort, is he going to give his hardest. Just things like even when he wasn't getting the ball, like you can see that he's making plays blocking downfield. That's very rare for a receiver, especially for a star receiver that should be getting catches. You rarely see him blocking for his teammates. Hey, pushing the young guys, telling them, hey, this is what I do. This is what like you should do in this situation, because that he was so successful. But I mean, outside of just him and his stats and his accolades that he was able to provide for Georgia State and for me, he's just a very good player off the field, and that's the one thing that I always preach every time somebody asks me about Ted. I'm always preaching about his character and his just work ethic.
Question for our two student athletes and also for Coach. Did either one of you have internships this summer, and who were they with, and what did you learn if you had those experiences?
Unfortunately, I didn't get an internship. I just graduated high school. Not high school. I just graduated college. My bad. But I will say that in my time at Georgia State, I was fortunate enough to cross in a fraternity. So I had a lot of opportunities just to meet people that are in high position. We had to meet with one of the governors that are running right now. There's a lot of community service that I've been able to put out into the community, not only just through football, but also on my own accord. There's just a lot of things, a lot of connections that I've grown, internships and conventions that I went to, that just a lot of successful people were there and that I got to learn from and document from. So I didn't get to get any internships, but the knowledge that I've gained through my fraternity is something that I would say that is very notable.
And we actually had Jordan Brown, one of our offensive linemen. He interned with Dell this summer. The unfortunate thing is he's a 320-pound offensive tackle, and he wants to be a pilot. And we got a chance to see him land a plane, and it was a very rough landing. But he was able to meet the CFO and all the important people in Delta. So his career is going to be bright once football is over. And just to mention another one, Keelan Butler interned with Grady Hospital. He got to see the clinical side, but we also had other players that interned at Grady this summer, where they got to see the other layers of Grady, because it's just not the doctor side. There's a business aspect to Grady and Delta that our players really benefited from. And we just finished a 6-week financial literacy education with our players. Where it was mandated Monday through Wednesday that they spent an hour with our financial literacy team, and they learned about budgeting, investments, insurance, taxes, and the importance of money and how to maximize that situation when it is afforded to them.
Any other questions for Coach or our student athletes? Guys, we appreciate you being here today. They'll be around for one-on-ones if any of you are interested in catching them. We appreciate you, and good luck this season.
All right, thank you. Go Panthers.
We'll be back in approximately 9 minutes with the shot players for Coastal